What's up, Bat family? Welcome back to the Build a Trader YouTube channel. Right now, we are starting our weekly live analysis Zoom call, starting a bit later than I typically would like. However, we're still here and we're making it happen. So, without further ado, I'm just going to get started here. We're going to be covering the news events for the week, the holidays, the medium impact news, high impact news, as well as technical analysis on both gold and the NASDAQ 100. And that primarily would give you an overall sense of the commodities and indices market, US indices. Alrighty, without further ado, let's get to it. So on Monday, we have a bank holiday for GBP, so I would not expect too much action during London session. However, during New York session, we have Swiss National Bank Chairman Jordan speaking, New York open at 5:25 a.m. Not too much going on for Monday. We have high impact news for the Australian dollar during Asia session. A little bit before the close in Asia session, 9:30 p.m., a little bit late, a little late. Tuesday, we have construction purchasing managers index for GBP during London session, just a medium impact news event. Have a bank holiday for the French, so French bank holiday on Tuesday. More bank holidays on Wednesday for Swiss National Bank, for the Euro, it's another French bank holiday and German bank holiday. Thursday, we have Bank of England monetary policy report for the Great British Pound. So this is during 4 a.m. This is before New York Open, so pre-New York. This is during the crossover from London session to pre-New York Open. Shortly after that, we have Bank of England Governor Bailey speaking. Right at New York Open, we have unemployment claims for the US dollar, 30-year bond auctions for the US dollar a few hours after that. That essentially is just Treasury bonds being auctioned. 30-year bonds are the highest maturity for US Treasury bonds. So they take 30 years to mature. They pay interest every 6 months, and it's a long wait for those payouts, basically, but they are safe investments and they are guaranteed by the US government for those that do not know what the bond auctions are and why they're 30 years long. Later that evening, pre-London Open on Thursday, we have GBP, GDP, gross domestic product. Then Friday, we have Canadian unemployment change and unemployment rates, pre-New York Open, and preliminary University of Michigan consumer sentiment for the US dollar at 7 a.m. Next, we're going to check our secondary news resource, Forex Factory. I'm sorry, we were just on Forex Factory. The next resource we'll be looking at is Daily Effects. This has some additional news events that typically aren't on Forex Factory, some being a little more important, some just showing what else is going on. We see London Open. Country is this? Spain. We have unemployment change for Spain, London Open on Monday. And then we have Hamburg Commercial Bank Services Purchasing Managers Index, just data from the Hamburg Commercial Bank, essentially releasing data about the Purchasing Managers Index in these countries. So we have Euro, Germany, France, Italy. And as we can see, the Swiss National Bank, Chairman Jordan speaking. We have a Fed speech. 2 Fed members will be speaking Monday morning, 9:50 and 10 a.m. And we can also see we have inflation rates for the Philippines. Philippine inflation rates during Asia session, that's around 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That would be around 9 p.m. And if you're on the eastern side of the country in New York or the East Coast. And we also have Reserve Bank of Australia interest rate decisions right before London Open, or slightly before London Open. Overall, should be a good start to the week. Should be a solid trading week with lots of opportunities. So next, we're going to look at gold here. Gold has been moving all over the place and has provided lots of good opportunities here. 2 weeks ago, she fell $1,000, 1,000 pips, and would have been an excellent opportunity to take advantage of, and could have been a life-changing amount of money, depending where you entered and executed. So now, what's going to happen for this week here? Let's see. So those were risk reward tools that I had last week, as that was the move I was anticipating. But as you can see, Price never broke above that blue line of resistance right here. 1 second. Rabbit is being needy. Come here, little baby. Come here. All right. So next, price rejected from this blue line right here, this level of resistance. Right here was a crucial level for price to break out from. As you can see, we hit this fair value gap and made a weekly low. Had a strong rally from this point up $50, which is a quite extensive move. $45 movement, 450 pip movement in price. Then price came down, retested, swept the weekly low, but as you can see, weekly rejected and is looking to potentially play off of this point and drive higher, similar to that risk reward tool I had on here previously. We may see something like this. Given how price failed to break below the weekly low, it snapped right back up, left a giant wick rejection, and as you can see on the right-hand side, the daily time frame, we may play off of this area. We may hit a level of supply down here. From that point, we may be able to continue. Now we need to update our previous week's high and previous week's lows. So this is last week's high, so that would be previous week's high. And this down here is last week's low, so previous week's low. Pretty straightforward. Next, this is not necessarily the previous week's high anymore. This is just an area of supply, major area of supply now. And we can now just mark off. I'm going to remove that previous week's high zone. It's gone. And now we have a strong area of supply up here that we need to be mindful of. We can drag this up some. It's really more so looks like this right here. Perfect. Previous week's low, previous week's high. And let's remove this fair value gap zone as price has already reacted from it. No longer need that on there. On the right-hand side, I'm going to go down to the 12-hour time frame. Yeah, this candle right here, just pure indecision. A lot of wick rejections. Definitely looks like we may try and fight higher here. Yeah, if we go to the 2-hour time frame, you can definitely see there is something in the works here. Let's drag this down. See this minor level of resistance. Price just needs to break above 23.10. That's going to be a good move up to 23.25 most likely. So based on how this risk reward tool is here, price is currently at 2,300 or close at 2301.81. Next, we can see price may want to attempt to break higher, driving up to this point. So that would be a 60 to 80 point move. I'm sorry, 60 to 80 pip move. I'll X the volume down. And nearly a 60 pip move right at that first level of resistance. Break above that point could potentially be a 210 pip move up to 23.25. So where price currently is, this could be an entry point right on the open. Or let's make this a bit smaller. One could enter on the break of this resistance as a breakout trade. Stop loss below this point here. I highly doubt it's going to come back below this candle low, the 2-hour candle low, but you never know. Something crazy could happen. You know, price may sweep, test again, and then go. You know, anything can happen, especially if it fails to break here. But ultimately, I do see it breaking above market open. Can enter at this price, can enter on the break of 23.10, and ultimately be targeting the 23.45 price, the previous week's high, that price point. However, a first good area to take profit would be this area of resistance here at 23.25. It's a pretty safe trade. Probably it's going to take maybe just a few candles to just push up to it. So buying at this point, breakout, taking profit here would be between 150, 170 pip move, and could really take advantage of that. Very easy setup. Run to the break, just trail your stop loss, and should just play out pretty nicely. That's what I'm seeing for gold. Overall, first move of the week, looking to be bullish. Let me put this back on here. Looking to be bullish, 20 up to 23.25, potentially 23.45. If we zoom out and go to the weekly time frame, we can see that, yeah, based on the weekly time frame, we may have further downside, but to start the week, we may see a bullish move higher as a lower time frame retracement and higher time frame needs to play out and push up to certain technical levels before it starts lining up with the overall bearish trend right now. So where those blue lines are, that's exactly where I'm expecting price to hit. And if price does break above the previous week's high, we could see some type of strong rally up into this area of supply up here at 23.85. That is a possibility, but in my mind, it does appear slim, but it can happen if there's enough volume. If we go to the monthly time frame, you can see that it doesn't look quite ready to go down yet, but you can see some rejections and like it looks like price is looking to begin to transition on the higher time frame. So if the overall trend was bullish as it has been, and now it's showing some rejections, some signs of exhaustion, some signs of lower volume, and that could be it for gold. And now we start heading down over these next few months towards 2200. Well, first 2240, then 2200. Takes some time for it to play out as these are higher time frame levels and monthly lows and highs that need to be broken. Overall gold starting the week bullish, but may line up being bearish later on as price hits these technical levels. May reverse later on in the week, so prepared for that. Lastly, the NASDAQ 100 here. Need to fix this chart a bit as the technicals aren't quite accurate currently. However, this particular pair these last 2 weeks absolutely rocketed. From this point 2 weeks ago, price swept the low, came down, tapped right into this area of supply, and absolutely took off all the way up to where we closed at 17926 last week. So this is a very clean trend, and there's lots of opportunities here on the NASDAQ. So first, let's make our chart look nice, get some new technicals on here, and get this looking how it needs to be. So this is our all-time high right up here. This major area of monthly resistance. That's our previous month's low, so let's change this to PML. Why is it our previous month's low? Because this is the month of April. It is literally the previous month. Now, previous month's high is going to be where that area of resistance is, right up here. So let's mark that off. Right here is our previous month's high. Awesome. Now we have our areas of liquidity marked out. We need to change this zone to blue as in my gold video. If you guys haven't watched that yet, go ahead and check that out. That is going to get you proficient on how to trade gold by yourself. But my weekly and monthly zones are in blue and my other liquidity zones are in gray. So let's go ahead and continue to map this out. All right, so far so good. Zoom out a tad. I can see less details and focus more on areas of structure. Now, as you can see, a lot of these technicals aren't quite accurate right now, which is why you have to clean up the chart and adjust the technicals when they need to be adjusted and, you know, keep things moving, keep things going. You have to always adjust your technicals on the charts as price is forming. You know, you have certain areas of interest, but once price goes to those areas, you have to adjust them based on how price action is playing out and has reacted from those areas. So right here, we're almost done. Let's add this area of supply right here. I'm sorry, area of demand right here. Make this gray. So this appears to be our previous week's low right here. So let's mark that off. And our previous week's high is going to be this high on Friday. Just change that. Perfect. Okay. Now on the right-hand side, let's go to the weekly time frame. Yeah, weekly is looking good. So what I would be seeing next on the space how we are here, let me adjust this zone up here. Price does look like it wants to extend higher and potentially drive up to the monthly previous month's high at the 18300 price range up to 18400 price range. There is a fair value gap right here that price may want to attempt first at the 181. No, that is 1800 up to 181 price range. So let's mark this off as well. I do see price driving up to this point, but may or may not break through it. And I know that may not be the most helpful, but it's something to keep an eye on. Fair value gap. Price most likely is going to break through or react very strongly from this point. So keep that in mind. And as you can see, that is the prior week's, no, 2 weeks ago's high. Not last week's, not the week before, but during the week of April 15th. That is the high of that week. So price literally looks like it's going to just push up and fill that particular area right here. Just drive up, and we could see rejection from that point, and price starts trending lower, back down to the previous week's low, or we see move up to the previous month's high. Rejection from there, retest on the previous week's high as support, and then a move up to the previous month's high up here at 183, 18400 price range. What else is the next possibility? Well, first, let's also clear this off. That is not the most helpful right now. And let's adjust this area of support down to over here, where previous week's low is, our area of structure. And lastly, we have a lower time frame point of structure support here that is highly important to the continuation of this bullish trend right here. Perfect. Now, if we go to a lower time frame, let's go to the 4-hour. You can see this minor level support. That is what was needed for price to make this bullish move up on Friday. Go to the 2-hour and see more details on how it held. Let's make this a bit smaller so it's not so extended out to the side. Much better. Okay, stick with that. If you go lower, just for simplicity's sake, you can see low volume support, try to come back down, but low volume, and ultimately just right at market open, strong bullish volume. Ultimately, I'm expecting the same thing. It kind of looks like it's going to happen based on how we closed. You can see price closed with strong bullish candle. Ultimately, market open just may drive higher, and then we may see a move from this fair value gap. We're deciding to make a higher low to drive up to the previous month's high, or continue trending lower, break the previous week's low, and keep trending bearish. We'll see what happens, but ultimately looking to drive up bullish to start the week. That's all I have for you guys so far. Thank you for watching, and ultimately looking forward to such a great trading week. Stay tuned. I will be active every single day, posting regular analysis and updates to potential moves that we're seeing here. Hope you guys have a fantastic trading week, and I'll be finishing up that how to execute trades on MetaTrader 5 and how to research cryptocurrency investments here. We're gonna get this video uploaded and get those other ones knocked out and get them uploaded for you guys. All right, that's it. Have a great rest of your weekend. Peace.